Before we begin, here's the most important thing to understand about 2026. This year is not loud. It's not chaotic in the way the last several years were. For almost 7 years, Uranus has been in Taurus, which means the moon has not been able to express itself cleanly. Emotional cycles were unstable, not because people were too sensitive, but because the ground underneath the moon kept shifting. 2026 is the first year in a long time where the moon finally gets to operate without constant disruption. So, what we're working with this year isn't shock, it's clarity. Most of the fixed stars aligning with the new and full moons in 2026 are subtle, steady, even boring by comparison to recent years. And that's intentional. This year doesn't interrupt your life, it reveals it. Full moon in Cancer, January 3rd, 2026. 5:02 a.m. Cancer, 13 degrees 1 minute. Fixed star 18 Monocerotis in Monoceros. This full moon opens the year by pulling you straight into the emotional body. Cancer at 13 degrees is not about feeling everything at once. It's about how emotions are processed, not just experienced. This moon is illuminated by the fixed star Monoceros, the throat of the unicorn. Monoceros is gentle, rare, and sacred, and its placement here carries a very specific message. Your emotional truth must be spoken, not swallowed. This lunation completes a cycle that begins in early 2025, revealing how your relationship to care, belonging, and emotional nourishment has matured. The past is not here to trap you. It's here to show you what still has power over your nervous system. This moon sets the tone for all of 2026. Emotional sovereignty begins here, not through drama, but through honesty. New moon in Capricorn, January 18th, 2026. At 2:51 p.m., Capricorn will be at 28 degrees 43 minutes, fixed star Gamma Pavonis in Pavo. This new moon arrives at the final degrees of Capricorn, where resolve crystallizes. At 28 degrees, Capricorn does not ask if you're ready. It asks what you're willing to commit to long term. This lunation aligns with the Gamma Pavonis, the heart of the Peacock constellation. Pavo symbolizes dignity, devotion, and confidence that grows from inner coherence, not performance. This is a quiet moon, but it's formidable. What begins here is not meant to rush. It's meant to last. The seed planted now reaches visibility later in the year, revealing what discipline, integrity, and self-respect can actually create over time. This new moon defines success on your terms, not inherited expectation, not outdated goals. There is power here that does not announce itself, it endures. Full moon in Leo, February 1st, 2026. At 5:08 p.m., Leo at 13 degrees 3 minutes, fixed star Rho Hydrae in Minazal 4. This full moon in Leo brings precision to visibility. Minazal 4 does not reward dominance or excess. It rewards conscious leadership, knowing when to step forward, when to pause, and when to redirect energy entirely. This moon asks you to release the performative confidence, the kind that drains you instead of energizing you. What's illuminated now is not how loud your light is, but how intentionally it lands. True radiance doesn't expand endlessly. It belongs exactly where it stands. New moon in Aquarius, Eclipse, February 17th, 2026. At 7 a.m., Aquarius, 28 degrees 49 minutes. Fixed star Iota Gruis in Grus. This eclipse is a threshold. At 28 degrees of Aquarius, experimentation ends and decisions begin. This new moon edits your future, your relationship to community, systems, technology, and collective identity. Grus carries themes of migration, reorientation, and choosing where you belong without distortion. Something quietly disappears here so something more aligned can enter. This eclipse doesn't ask you to stand out, it asks you to belong without abandoning yourself. Full moon in Virgo, lunar eclipse, March 3rd, 2026. 6:37 a.m. Virgo, 12 degrees, 53 minutes. Fixed star, Coxa Theta Leonis. This full moon eclipse is a reckoning of refinement. Virgo does not destroy, it edits. Habits, routines, and responsibilities that once felt necessary may now feel heavy or outdated. This is not a punishment, it's recalibration. Coxa, the hip of the lion, reminds us that strength collapses when alignment is ignored. This eclipse highlights where small misalignments have accumulated into exhaustion, and where correction restores power. Dignity returns when effort finally serves the body, not the other way around. New moon in Pisces, March 18th, 2026. Pisces, 28 degrees, 26 minutes. Fixed star, 30, Pisces. This new moon does not rush manifestation. Pisces teaches that clarity arrives softly but decisively. This lunation dissolves illusion without drama. What you release now clears vision rather than forcing action. Stillness here is not absence, it's authority. At this point in the year, you may already feel the difference. 2026 doesn't push, it reveals. And from here, the year begins to build momentum, not through chaos, but through consequence. Full moon in Libra, April 1st, 2026, 10:11 p.m. Libra 11 degrees. Fixed star, Minalaba. This full moon in Libra brings balance into focus, but not as an abstract ideal, as a lived reality. Libra governs agreements, reciprocity, and the space between self and other. Under this moon, that space becomes illuminated. You may suddenly see where harmony has depended on over-explaining, over-accommodating, or quietly carrying emotional weight that was never meant to be yours. Minalava adds a somatic component here. This star is connected to bodily awareness and subtle strain. The body reveals imbalance before the mind admits it. Tension, fatigue, and quiet resentment act as data. This moon doesn't demand confrontation, it demands correction. The moment you stop negotiating your own limits, equilibrium begins to restore itself naturally. New moon in Aries, April 17th, 2026. 7:51 a.m. Aries, 27 degrees, 28 minutes. Fixed star, Alpherg. This new moon arrives at the closing degrees of Aries, where instinct sharpens and hesitation dissolves. At 27 degrees, Aries is no longer experimenting. It is deciding. The body already knows what must begin, even if the mind hasn't caught up yet. Alpherg links this initiation to continuity rather than chaos. This is not impulsive action for its own sake. It is momentum rooted in lived experience, the kind that knows exactly why it's moving forward. This new moon doesn't wait for certainty. It creates certainty through motion. What begins here requires courage, not clarity, and courage arrives first. Full moon in Scorpio, May 1st, 2026, 1:22 p.m. Scorpio 11 degrees, 20 minutes. Fixed star, Acrux. This full moon in Scorpio marks a point of emotional irreversibility. At 11 degrees, Scorpio intensifies awareness around power, intimacy, and energetic exchange. Old agreements that once felt binding may suddenly feel heavy, outdated, or emotionally unsafe. Acrux, the heart of the Southern Cross, brings themes of initiation and decisive transformation. This star does not support half measures. It asks for honesty without bargaining. This moon separates what is sustainable from what is simply familiar. What ends here does not weaken you. It returns power that was quietly tied up elsewhere. New moon in Taurus, May 16th, 2026. 4:02 p.m. Taurus, 25 degrees, 57 minutes. Fixed star 32 Eridani in Eridanus. This new moon in Taurus slows the current. Eridanus is the cosmic river, the path of consequence, memory, and long-term unfolding. At these late Taurus degrees, the river deepens instead of rushing forward. This lunation reveals where energy has been leaking rather than circulating, where stability has been postponed in favor of urgency, where nervous systems have been running without rest. This moon restores sustainability, not through effort, but through simplification. What you choose to stabilize now quietly supports everything that follows. Full moon in Sagittarius, May 31st, 2026. 4:44 a.m. Sagittarius, 9 degrees, 55 minutes. Fixed star Antares. This full moon carries intensity, not chaos. Antares exposes motive. Sagittarius illuminates belief, direction, and meaning. Together, they reveal where truth has been softened to maintain comfort or distorted to avoid accountability. This is not about punishment, it's about alignment. What becomes clear here reshapes trajectory. Direction adjusts not because something went wrong, but because clarity finally arrived. New moon in Gemini, June 14th, 2026. 10:53 p.m. Gemini, 24 degrees, 2 minutes. Fixed star Alnilam. This new moon in Gemini recalibrates the mental field. Gemini manifests through repetition, thought patterns, language, media, and daily input. Under this moon, awareness sharpens around what you repeatedly feed your mind. Alnilam supports coherence. Mental clutter clears when attention becomes intentional. This moon doesn't demand silence, it demands discernment. What you consistently focus on now becomes structure later. Full moon in Capricorn, June 29th, 2026. 7:56 p.m. Capricorn, 8 degrees, 14 minutes. Fixed star Kappa Lyra. This full moon brings a quiet audit of reality. Capricorn governs responsibility, sustainability, and long-term integrity. Under this moon, results speak louder than intention. Lyra tunes the emotional body like an instrument. It asks whether the structure of your life allows resonance or dampens it. What cannot support weight reveals itself calmly. There is no drama here, only truth. Before we move into the second half of the year, pause for a moment. If the first 6 months of 2026 felt quieter but heavier in consequence, that's because the moon spent the beginning of the year clearing residual instability left over from the Uranus and Taurus era. From this point forward, the lunar cycles stop cleaning up the past and begin actively shaping the future. July onward is where emotional integration turns into lived direction. New moon in Cancer, July 14th, 2026. 5:43 a.m. Cancer, 21 degrees, 58 minutes. Fixed star Ras Elised Borealis, Leo. This new moon restores emotional infrastructure. Cancer here is not asking you to feel more, it's asking you to feel safely. This lunation brings attention to the systems that allow vulnerability to exist without collapse: home, body, nervous system, and emotional boundaries. What becomes clear now is where you've been enduring instead of being nourished, where emotional strength has been confused with emotional endurance. This new moon plants seeds rooted in sustainability rather than sacrifice. What you build from this place becomes the foundation for the second half of the year. Full moon in Aquarius, July 29th, 2026, 10:35 a.m. Aquarius, 6 degrees, 29 minutes. Fixed star, Alpha Mic, Microscopium. This full moon brings perspective, but not detachment. Aquarius governs objectivity, systems, and collective awareness. Under this lunation, distance becomes diagnostic. You may see clearly where you've been observing your life instead of participating in it. This moon reveals where neutrality has quietly turned into avoidance, and where emotional disengagement has been mistaken for clarity. What you re-engage with now regains relevance. What you remain detached from reveals what no longer belongs in your future. New moon in Leo, total solar eclipse, August 12th, 2026, at 1:36 p.m. in Leo at 20 degrees 1 minute. Fixed star, Merik in Ursa Major. This eclipse marks the energetic center of the year. Leo governs identity, authorship, and creative authority. Under this new moon eclipse, false performance dissolves. The need to be seen in specific ways collapses. What emerges is not louder, it is truer. This eclipse rewrites the relationship between visibility and sovereignty. Who you are when no one is directing the narrative becomes visible first to you and then to others. This eclipse does not ask for attention, it restores ownership. Full moon in Pisces, eclipse, August 28th, 2026, at 12:18 a.m. Pisces, 4 degrees 53 minutes. Fixed star, Oculus, Capricornus. This eclipse completes the Leo reset by dissolving illusion. Pisces governs endings that do not require explanation. Emotional residue clears quietly. Attachments that once felt necessary lose weight without resistance. Clarity arrives gently and remains. This full moon does not demand action, it creates space. What you release here allows emotional integration to settle fully into the body. New moon in Virgo, September 10th, 2026, 11:26 p.m. Virgo, 18 degrees, 25 minutes. Fixed star, Kara. This new moon initiates refinement without self-criticism. Virgo governs daily systems, health, and practical devotion. At 18 degrees, attention turns towards what quietly works and what quietly drains. Kara emphasizes loyalty to the path rather than perfection. This is not a moment for drastic overhaul. It is a moment for precise correction. Small adjustments made now compound steadily. Consistency becomes the engine of progress. Full moon in Aries, September 26th, 2026, 12:48 p.m. Aries, 3 degrees 36 minutes. Fixed star, Taurus, 1 in Draco. This full moon brings instinct into sharp focus. At early Aries degrees, impulse meets awareness. You recognize which efforts ignite vitality and which battles simply exhaust you. Draco introduces discernment around power, not through force, but through redirection. This moon supports release through choice rather than confrontation. Energy returns when effort becomes intentional instead of reactive. New moon in Libra, October 10th, 2026, 11:49 a.m. Libra, 17 degrees 21 minutes. Fixed star, Icar, Argo Navis. This new moon recalibrates relational balance through conscious navigation. Libra governs agreements, reciprocity, and fairness. At 17 degrees, balance is no longer performative. It becomes directional. Argo Navis symbolizes steering rather than drifting. You are not waiting to see how things unfold. You are choosing where they go. Relationships and collaborations adjust based on clarity, not politeness. This new moon replaces approval with alignment. Full moon in Taurus, October 26, 2026, 12:11 a.m. Taurus, 2 degrees, 45 minutes. Fixed star, Uranus. This full moon grounds awareness in the body. Taurus reveals truth through sensation rather than theory. Comfort, security, and stability become felt realities rather than abstract goals. Uranus exposes the deeper current beneath accumulated choices. What has been building quietly reaches undeniable clarity. This moon does not dramatize consequences, it confirms them. Stability becomes non-negotiable, not through fear, but through wisdom. New moon in Scorpio, November 9th, 2026. 2:01 a.m. Scorpio, 16 degrees, 52 minutes. Fixed star, Albertan. This new moon initiates a precise reclamation of power. At 16 degrees of Scorpio, emotional truth can no longer be deferred. What has been avoided becomes workable. What has been hidden becomes visible without drama. Albertan sharpens perception. This star refines instinct, allowing you to sense where energy is being exchanged fairly and where it is not. This new moon does not provoke crisis, it restores agency. What you choose to face here returns control to where it belongs. Full moon in Gemini, November 24th, 2026, 9:53 a.m. Gemini, 2 degrees, 19 minutes. Fixed star, Mirafac Persesius. This full moon clears mental residue. Gemini governs perception, language, and narrative. Under this lunation, outdated stories lose authority. Repetitive thoughts soften, noise fades. What remains is coherence. This moon does not ask you to decide anything new, it simply removes distortion so clarity can stand on its own. New moon in Sagittarius, December 8th, 2026, 7:51 p.m. Sagittarius, 16 degrees, 56 minutes. Fixed star, Rasalgathi, Hercules. This new moon resets vision. Sagittarius governs belief, meaning, and direction. Under this lunation, optimism is replaced with honesty. You are no longer interested in believing what feels good, only what feels true. This moon aligns intention with lived experience. Purpose clarifies not through dreaming, but through integrity between what you say, you value, and how you actually live. Full moon in Cancer, December 23rd, 2026, 8:27 p.m. Cancer, 2 degrees, 13 minutes. Fixed star, Theta Lep in Lepus. This full moon closes the year emotionally, but gently. Cancer governs memory, belonging, and emotional continuity. Under this moon, cycles complete without rupture. What you have been carrying softens naturally. There is no need for release rituals here. Integration happens on its own. You end 2026 lighter than you entered it, not because you forced change, but because you allowed it. 2026 does not demand transformation, it reveals it. The moon does not shout this year, it speaks clearly. And if you listened, you now understand exactly where you're going.